Introduction: a sloth unlike any other. When we think of sloths today, we imagine small, sleepy creatures hanging lazily from the trees of tropical rainforests. They move so slowly that moss grows on their fur, and their reputation is one of harmlessness, gentleness, and even cuteness. But what if I told you that, only a few tens of thousands of years ago, there was a sloth the size of an elephant? A sloth so massive that it towered over humans, with claws that could slash open predators and muscles strong enough to topple trees. This was Megatherium, the great beast. It was one of the largest land mammals to ever walk the earth, and it lived during the Ice Age, side by side with saber-toothed cats, mammoths, and, eventually, our own human ancestors. Unlike the dinosaurs, which disappeared long before humans ever appeared, Megatherium was a creature we might have actually seen, hunted, and feared. Its extinction is not some distant mystery of deep time, it is a story connected directly to the dawn of humanity. In this documentary, we will journey deep into the life and times of Megatherium. We'll explore its anatomy, behavior, and role in its ecosystem. We'll travel through the Ice Age landscapes it once called home, meet its strange neighbors, and uncover the mystery of its disappearance. Most importantly, we'll discover why this forgotten giant still matters today. Chapter 1: The Discovery of a Great Beast. The story of Megatherium begins not in prehistory, but in the late 18th century. In 1787, in the riverbanks of the Rio de Lujan in Argentina, an extraordinary fossil skeleton was unearthed. The bones were gigantic, unlike those of any known animal. Local people speculated that they belonged to a race of ancient giants, or perhaps to a monstrous creature of legend. Eventually, the skeleton was transported to Spain, where it was studied by the naturalist Juan Bautista Bru. His illustrations revealed a creature with enormous bones, massive claws, and a peculiar structure that resembled a sloth. But this was no ordinary sloth, this was something on a completely different scale. The discovery stunned the scientific world. At the time, the very idea of extinction was controversial. Many believed that all of God's creations still lived somewhere on Earth. Yet here was a skeleton of a colossal animal that no one had ever seen alive. Megatherium helped convince people that extinction was real, that entire species could vanish forever. It also ignited the study of paleontology. Alongside mammoths and mastodons, Megatherium became one of the first great fossil icons, reshaping our understanding of Earth's history. Chapter 2: Anatomy of a Titan. So what exactly was Megatherium? Let's break down this incredible animal. Megatherium belonged to a group of mammals called ground sloths. Unlike modern tree-dwelling sloths, ground sloths lived on the ground and ranged dramatically in size, from relatively small species to true giants. Megatherium was the largest of them all. Size: adults could grow up to 6 meters 20 feet long and weigh up to 4 tons, making them as heavy as modern elephants. Skeleton: their bones were massive and dense, built to support an enormous body. Their hips and hind legs were particularly robust, giving them the ability to rear up on 2 legs. Claws: the forelimbs were long and powerful, ending in huge, curved claws that could reach over 30 centimeters 1 foot in length. These claws were likely used for pulling down branches, digging for roots, and defending against predators. Skull and teeth: the skull was elongated, with a strong jaw and peg-like teeth designed for grinding plants. Unlike carnivores, Megatherium had no sharp teeth, but its jaws were powerful enough to crush tough vegetation. Tail: it had a large, muscular tail that acted like a tripod when it stood upright, balancing its massive frame. Although its appearance might seem terrifying, Megatherium was a herbivore. Its diet consisted mainly of plants, though some scientists have debated whether it may have occasionally scavenged meat. Chapter 3: The World of the Ice Age. To truly understand Megatherium, we must step back in time to the Pleistocene epoch, better known as the Ice Age. The Pleistocene lasted from about 2.6 million years ago until just 11,700 years ago. It was a time of dramatic climate shifts, with glaciers advancing and retreating in cycles. Environments transformed repeatedly, creating challenges and opportunities for the animals that lived during this era. South America, where Megatherium thrived, was a continent of diverse habitats. Vast grasslands stretched across the pampas. Woodlands and forests grew along rivers. In these landscapes, Megatherium shared its world with an extraordinary cast of Ice Age megafauna. Glyptodon, a giant armadillo-like creature with a shell as big as a car. Macrauchenia, a bizarre, long-necked mammal that looked like a cross between a llama and a tapir. Toxodon, a massive hippo-like herbivore. And, of course, Smilodon, the saber-toothed cat, one of the most fearsome predators of the time. It was a world of giants, and Megatherium was one of the greatest of them all. Chapter 4: Behavior and Lifestyle. What was daily life like for a Megatherium? Based on its anatomy, scientists believe Megatherium was primarily a slow-moving browser. It likely foraged for leaves, fruits, and roots. Its huge claws allowed it to pull down tree branches or dig into the soil. Standing upright, it could reach vegetation far out of reach for most animals. Despite being a herbivore, Megatherium was no easy target. When threatened, it could rear up on its hind legs and swing its claws like massive scythes. A blow from one of these claws could kill or seriously injure even a large predator. Some scientists have speculated that Megatherium may have been more versatile in its diet than we once thought. Scratches on its teeth suggest it may have eaten tough foods, perhaps even scavenging on carcasses during lean times. If true, this would make Megatherium a rare case of a primarily herbivorous animal dabbling in opportunistic omnivory. It likely lived in groups or loose herds, offering social protection. A herd of Megatheriums would have been an awe-inspiring sight, towering giants moving slowly across the Ice Age plains. Chapter 5: Humans and the Great Beasts. Unlike dinosaurs, Megatherium lived at the same time as humans. In fact, the overlap between humans and Megatherium is one of the most fascinating aspects of its story. Archaeological evidence suggests that humans in South America may have hunted Megatherium. Stone tools and butchered bones hint that our ancestors saw this giant not as a monster, but as an opportunity. For early humans, bringing down a Megatherium would have been extremely dangerous. But the reward was immense: thousands of pounds of meat, a hide large enough to make shelters or clothing, and bones that could be used as tools. There are even cave paintings and petroglyphs that some researchers interpret as depictions of giant sloths, though this remains debated. If true, they would be one of the few direct artistic records of Megatherium by human hands. Chapter 6: The Mystery of Extinction. So what happened to Megatherium? Why did such a massive, successful animal vanish? Around 10,000 years ago, near the end of the Ice Age, Megatherium disappeared along with many other large animals, including mammoths, mastodons, and saber-toothed cats. Scientists propose two main causes: climate change. As the Ice Age ended, glaciers retreated and ecosystems shifted. Grasslands gave way to forests, reducing the open habitats where Megatherium thrived. Food sources may have become less reliable. Human hunting. The arrival of humans in the Americas coincides suspiciously with the extinction of many megafauna. Even limited hunting could have put enormous pressure on slow-reproducing animals like Megatherium. Most likely, it was a combination of both. Climate stress weakened populations, while human activity delivered the final blow. Chapter 7: The Legacy of Megatherium. Though gone, Megatherium left behind an extraordinary legacy. Its fossils helped establish the science of paleontology. Its size captured the public imagination, proving that Earth's past was filled with creatures stranger and grander than anyone had dreamed. Today, Megatherium is remembered as one of the great Ice Age megafauna, alongside mammoths and saber-toothed cats. Museums display its skeletons, and documentaries bring it to life with modern technology. Perhaps most remarkably, Megatherium reminds us that extinction is real and that even the mightiest creatures can vanish. Chapter 8: Lessons for Today. The story of Megatherium is not just about the past. It carries a warning for the present. Here was a creature that ruled its ecosystem for hundreds of thousands of years. Yet within a geological instant, it was gone. Climate change and human activity were too much to survive. Today, we face similar challenges. Species around the world are disappearing at alarming rates. The fate of Megatherium reminds us that our actions matter and that biodiversity, once lost, can never be replaced. Conclusion: remembering the great beasts. Megatherium was a paradox, a gentle herbivore with terrifying claws, a sloth that was anything but slow and harmless. It was a creature of contradictions, living proof of evolution's creativity. For humans of the Ice Age, it may have been a source of food, fear, and legend. For us today, it is a symbol of nature's power and fragility. The bones of Megatherium tell a story of greatness and loss. They remind us that Earth was once home to giants, and that those giants are gone forever. But in remembering them, we keep their legacy alive. Megatherium may have vanished 10,000 years ago, but in our imaginations, it still roams the Ice Age plains, the giant sloth that once ruled a world of giants.